It was the first film I ever produced, Mission Impossible, the very first film. And I'd been asked by many studios to go and make films for them and produce films for them, and I was waiting for the right one. And then I went to Paramount. I wanted to go make movies around the world. Since I was 4 years old, I've wanted to make films. And I had two things. I wanted to travel the world. Not just be a tourist, but go and work with people. That's why I came here to China and made Mission Impossible 3. I wanted to, we shot in Shanghai. I wanted to not just come here and shoot it, but I wanted to be with the people and work with them and share our artistic skills and our cultures. And so my life has really been dedicated to that. And Mission Impossible allows me a very large-scale kind of movie. They're very challenging to produce, very challenging to act in. I spend years preparing them, such as this last one where I spent a year and a half. I got my license in 12 days flying helicopters, but I spent a year and a half training in helicopters, and I'm always improving myself with cars and motorcycles and fight training. So all of these things that I put into these for the audience, it's something that I find to be a real privilege. Because I really take my time. I love making these movies. I really enjoy working hard. I work 7 days a week. Being on a movie set is a holiday for me. I rarely take vacations in my whole life. I'll take time, but every day I'm usually studying movies or working on movies or studying something. I like to learn. That's really what I think life is about. It's about learning new things. It's about challenging yourself. It's about always never just sitting back and taking anything for granted and enjoying life. And so it's afforded me an incredible life. The places that I grew up, I didn't grow up with money. I didn't grow up with anything. I basically did it all myself. I didn't have money to go to acting school. So I never went to acting school. I just studied films and started making movies, and I learned on movie sets. What I would do is I would go to every single department. The first film that I really got on, which was Taps, I went to every single department and I studied every part of the movie. I went to the camera department, I studied lenses, lighting. I was working with a great cinematographer, Oren Roisman. I studied what producers do, what writers do, what wardrobe does, what the stunt department does, props, sound. I studied every aspect of films, and that's what I kept doing. I kept challenging myself. When I broke my ankle on Mission Impossible and Fallout, I spent 10 hours a day in rehab and training. 10 hours a day, 7 days a week almost. Because I had to get back to filming in 6 weeks. And the doctor said they weren't sure whether I'd ever be able to run again, let alone in 6 weeks. And I said, I gotta film in 6 weeks. So my diet had to be perfect, my training had to be perfect. So those are the choices that you have to make. And you have to decide what it is you want to accomplish with your life. Well, my whole life I've been doing things like that. I trained, I bought my first motorcycle. I started working, not in movies, but I had jobs since I was 8 years old. I've always had a job and worked. So I always earned my own money, and I bought my own motorcycle when I was a kid, and go-karts, and I did all kinds of crazy stuff. And I always wanted to jump out of airplanes, fly airplanes, race motorcycles, race cars. The studio or different people, they're like, please don't do that. We can't do that. And I'm like, I'm producing this movie. We're going to do it. And also, but the studio, they're my friends. And I remember there's things that I do that I don't send them the film. Sometimes I just don't send it to them. I'm like, they don't need to see this. I don't want to get the phone calls of them calling me saying how terrified they are. What am I doing? I don't want to hear about it. Afterwards we'll show them.